What happens when a promising life is cruelly snatched away under mysterious circumstances? In the quiet stretches of Sandusky County, Ohio, Heather Bogle was a beacon of hope and resilience. A dedicated single mother juggling the demands of life and the night shifts at a local washing machine factory, Heather was known for her unwavering determination to forge a better future for herself and her daughter. But one chilling morning, the sun rose on an unsettling silence. Heather didn't return home from her night shift, calls went unanswered, and her usual morning routine was eerily absent. The community of Sandusky, typically cloaked in the comfort of familiarity and safety, was jolted awake by the sudden disappearance of one of their own. As hours turned into days, the whisper of foul play grew louder, and the specter of danger loomed large over the town. Heather's disappearance was not just a missing person case, it was a harbinger of darker revelations to come. Little did anyone know, this was just the beginning of a perplexing case that would challenge the very essence of justice. Days of anxiety and fear culminated in a discovery that shook the community to its core. It was a chilly morning when Heather Bogle's abandoned car was found in an empty parking lot. The true horror lay within the trunk, where Heather's body was cruelly hidden away, revealing the grim end to her sudden disappearance. Heather had been brutally beaten, her injuries severe, and telling a tale of violent struggle. The autopsy later confirmed the cause of death. She had been shot twice, each bullet a final fatal blow to her aspirations and dreams. Her hands bore the marks of defense, indicating she fought fiercely for her life. The state of her body painted a picture of the cruelty she faced during her last moments. It was not just a murder, it was a message of sheer brutality. This harrowing scene propelled the police into a frenzied search for the murderer, as the close-knit community of Sandusky County reeled from the shock. The gruesome scene set off a wave of urgency to find the perpetrator amidst a grieving community. When does the line between investigation and persecution begin to blur? In the Heather Bogle case, that line seemed to vanish almost as soon as Detective Sean O'Connell took charge. With a community in distress and a killer at large, quick results were demanded. But in his zeal, O'Connell's methods began to raise eyebrows. Under the spotlight was Heather's girlfriend, along with two other individuals who found themselves ensnared in a web of accusation with little to no evidence to support their involvement. O'Connell, convinced of their guilt, pursued them relentlessly. This pursuit included rigorous interrogations and public declarations of their supposed connection to the crime, despite the glaring lack of forensic evidence or credible witnesses linking them to the murder scene. Meanwhile, the community of Sandusky County watched with mixed feelings. While some applauded the detectives' determination to find Heather's killer, others started to question the integrity of the investigation. Rumors began to swirl about evidence being manipulated and vital leads being ignored. Was justice really being served, or were innocent lives being torn apart under the guise of law enforcement? As the investigation dragged on, the real perpetrator, Daniel Myers, Heather's own co-worker, continued his life unencumbered. It was a stark contrast to the lives of those wrongfully accused, whose reputations and peace were shattered by the spotlight of suspicion. This disparity did not go unnoticed. Advocacy groups and local media began to probe deeper, questioning the direction in which O'Connell was steering the investigation. The pressure mounted and cracks began to show in the foundation of O'Connell's case against Heather's girlfriend and the others. The community's trust in their law enforcement was faltering, and the pursuit of the truth seemed overshadowed by a pursuit of closure at any cost. As suspicion grew around the investigation's integrity, the real perpetrator remained in the shadows. In the world of crime solving, every second counts, and every clue is a potential key. But in the unsettling case of Heather Bogle, critical missteps by the investigation team led to a delay in justice that could have been prevented. Detective Sean O'Connell, the lead investigator, made several questionable decisions that would later haunt the case. Despite the lack of substantial evidence, he prematurely focused his suspicions on Heather's girlfriend and two other individuals, disregarding other plausible leads. This tunnel vision was not only detrimental but also diverted resources away from more promising avenues of investigation. Meanwhile, Daniel Myers, a co-worker of Heather's at the washing machine factory, remained unnoticed and uninvestigated. It was later revealed that Myers had exhibited suspicious behavior around the time of Heather's disappearance. Had the investigative team cast a wider net, they might have picked up on these red flags much sooner. Furthermore, critical physical evidence that could have led to Myers was overlooked. Vital DNA samples, surveillance footage, and testimonies that pointed away from the initial suspects were either ignored or inadequately pursued. This oversight allowed Myers to walk free, continuing his daily life as if nothing had happened, while Heather's family waited agonizingly for answers. The clock ticked away, as did the chances of swift justice. Justice may be delayed, but the truth eventually paves its way. As the sun rose over Sandusky County, a new dawn also broke on the Heather Bogle case. With Detective Sean O'Connell's mishandling casting long shadows, fresh eyes were brought in. The case, stagnant and misled, was revitalized by a new team of detectives determined to uncover the truth. This shift marked the beginning of a pivotal chapter. The new team approached the case with meticulous care, untangling the web of inaccuracies and revisiting every piece of evidence with precision. It wasn't long before their diligent work led them to Daniel Myers, a co-worker of Heather's at the washing machine factory. The connection was chilling, and the evidence this time was irrefutable. Forensic analysis played a crucial role. DNA evidence that had been overlooked linked Myers directly to the crime. Surveillance footage, previously ignored, placed Myers' car near the location where Heather's body was discovered. The puzzle pieces were fitting together, painting a clear picture of the perpetrator. Confronted with the mounting evidence against him, Myers' facade crumbled. He confessed to the brutal murder of Heather Bogle, providing details only the killer could know. This confession was the cornerstone of the case against him, leading to his arrest and subsequent charge of aggravated murder among other offenses. The trial was a watershed moment for the community and for all those who seek justice in the face of adversity. The courtroom was heavy with the weight of the truth as each piece of evidence was laid bare, showcasing not just the guilt of Myers, but also the earlier investigative failures. Finally, the scales of justice began to tip in the right direction. As Myers was convicted and sentenced, the relief was palpable. It was a victory not just for Heather's family, who had endured unimaginable pain, but for the principles of justice itself. In Sandusky County, the light of truth, though delayed, had not been denied. In the aftermath of tragedy, the quest for justice brings not only closure, but also lessons. The Heather Bogle case left a profound impact on the community of Sandusky County, a small town forever changed by the ordeal of one of its own. The initial misdirection under Detective O'Connell's lead deeply scarred those wrongfully targeted. Kiona Bohr, once accused, emerged not only absolved, but as a symbol of strength and resilience in the face of baseless accusation. As the town grappled with the shock of Heather's brutal murder and the subsequent miscarriage of justice, it stirred a collective call for change. The community rallied, advocating for more rigorous oversight of investigations and a higher standard of accountability within their law enforcement agencies. It was a painful reminder that justice, when skewed, can leave indelible marks on innocent lives. In the wake of these events, Heather's family stood undeterred. Their relentless pursuit of the truth was instrumental in redirecting the focus of the investigation towards the real perpetrator. Their courage and unwavering determination were pivotal in peeling back the layers of negligence that had initially clouded the case. They became advocates not only for Heather, but for others who might one day find themselves ensnared in a similar nightmare. Moreover, this case prompted critical reforms within the local police department. New protocols were established to ensure a more thorough and unbiased approach to criminal investigations. These changes are a part of Heather's unintended legacy, a push towards a more just system that upholds the principles it purports to defend. Through all the darkness that this case brought to light, the silver lining remains the community's and the family's resilience. They have shown that even in the face of overwhelming grief and injustice, the human spirit can drive us towards improvement and rectitude. Heather Bogle's legacy is a testament to the enduring human spirit and the relentless pursuit of truth. As we close this chapter, we remember not only the darkness of crime, but the light of justice. The Heather Bogle case, marked by tragedy and error, ultimately underscores the vital need for diligence and integrity within our justice system. Despite initial setbacks and misdirected investigations, the truth prevailed, ensuring that justice, although delayed, was indeed served. This story serves as a poignant reminder of the consequences when accountability falters, but also highlights the relentless pursuit of truth. Heather Bogle's story reminds us that in the face of injustice, the fight for truth is always worth it.